In your textbooks on page 188 to 189, those first two pages. Dis okay, jy dit nie nou uithaal nie, maar skryf dan net vir julle ten minste neer. Bladsy 188 en 189 is meetkunde wat ek verwag julle moet weet. So it's stuff like applying Pythagoras, knowing the characteristics of a parallelogram, how to get co-interior angles, verwisselende hoeke, daai tipe goeders. Okay, so the geometry that you have been doing since grade 8 is summarized there for you. So all of that, I am assuming as background knowledge. Okay? Hoe om driehoeke kongruent aan mekaar te bewys. Al daai goeders neem ons aan, weet julle as ons nou van hier af uitwerk. 188 en 189. So it might be worth your while to just spend some time on reading through those two pages again and making sure you know when to use which reason en laat jy on top of jou graad 8, 9 en 10 werk is. Okay. Die graad 11 werk gaat heeltemal 'n ander rigting. We go a completely different direction because as you can see on that page, we haven't done any circles at all. Jy het nog geen sirkelmeetkunde gedoen nie. Maar later aan, wanneer ons nou al die stellings gedoen het, gaan julle sien ons begin van hierdie goeders 'n bietjie incorporeer. So I might be asking you Pythagoras in a circle geometry question or something like that. Or you will have to use parallel lines, so co-interior lines, angles in one of these. So for now, I'm not too worried about that. Maar later, wanneer ons by oplos kom van somme, dan gaan julle van hierdie moet kan gebruik. Okay, goed. So I want to start off by talking about the different parts of a triangle. Of a circle. Yes, a circle. Okay, goed, en dis waar julle sin begin. Daai is die omtrek van die circle. The circumference of the circle is the line that actually forms the circle. Then you know the diameter, die middellyn. Okay? En daai noem ons mos die radius. The radius. That should not be news, né? Ou nuus. Okay. Onthou, die radius van 'n circle is oral dieselfde. So it doesn't matter where I draw the radius of a circle. If it's from the midpoint of the circle to the circumference of the circle, it has the same length everywhere in that circle. We call that a chord. Kyk mooi, wat is die verskil tussen die deursnee of die diameter en 'n koord? 'n Koord is 'n lyn wat nie deur die middelpunt gaan nie. So it's from one point on the circumference to another point on the circumference, but it does not go through the midpoint. Okay, so it doesn't divide the circle into two equal parts. It divides it into a major segment and a minor segment. Okay, goed. And a major arc. In Afrikaans is dit 'n boog. En daai is die ander boog. Goed, en die laaste ene is as ek twee lyne gaan trek, twee radiusse gaan trek, maar sien julle dis nie 'n reguit lyn nie, dan noem ons dit 'n sektor. A major sector and a minor sector. Then on your sketch you will see they drew in 3 tangents. Wat is Afrikaans vir 'n tangent? Rrr. Ek begin met 'n rrr. Raaklyn. Okay? Why? Because it only touches the circle. Nee, hy raak net aan die sirkel, so ons noem dit 'n raaklyn. Okay, goed. So veral Afrikaanse mense maak seker julle het die terme daar voor julle. Okay. In hierdie presentation gaan hulle altyd O by die middelpunt sit. It's not always going to be a O, but in this case it will be. Okay. Do you guys agree that those two lines, AO and OB, divides it into two sectors, né? In twee sektore. Okay, maar dit maak nie nou vir ons so baie saakie. En sien julle dan's daar daai hoekie by die middelpunt van die sirkel. So what we say is that the chord AB subtends X at the midpoint. Hy onderspan. English, write the word there for you, subtends. Die een slide is Engels en die ander een is Afrikaans, so julle gaan moet fokus. You can't have it always, you decided to be in a bilingual school. Deal with it. Juffrou, shame. Okay, So ons sê boog AB onderspan X by die middelpunt. It subtends X at the midpoint. If you look at that, it's still being subtended by the arc AB, but Y is now on the circle circumference. Sien julle dit? Y is nie nou meer by die middelpunt van die sirkel nie. Remember, where's the midpoint of the circle? There. Okay, it's not at the midpoint of the circle anymore. It's on the circle circumference. But both of them are subtended by this arc AB. What do I mean by subtend? You see it's drawn underneath them. So it's almost the basis of where I draw those two lines from. Okay. Now if I go and I draw a line from A to B, what do we call that line? It's a chord. Nee? Hoe weet ek dis 'n koord? Hy gaan nie deur die middelpunt van die sirkel nie. So hy's ook nie 'n radius nie, want hy's nie van die middelpunt van die sirkel af nie. Now you say chord AB subtends X at the midpoint and chord AB subtends Y at the circle circumference. Okay. So dit kan of 'n lyn wees of net die boogie wees wat hom onderspan.
So we still have to include the Y. The chord touching the Y on the circumference.
Yes, remember they are subtending Y and X. But one of them is at the circle midpoint and one of them is at the circle circumference. So it can either be the chord that subtends them, that forms the basis. Nee, sien julle hy vorm soos die basis, of dit kan die boogie wees wat die basis vorm. Okay. Hierdie sketse is dieselfde ding. That just looks a bit weird, but look, chord AB subtends X and at the circle midpoint en chord AB onderspan Y by die sirkel omtrek. It's just skeef. Maar hierdie is mos nog steeds die sirkel se omtrek. Do you guys agree? That's still the circle circumference. So it's still subtending an angle at the circle circumference. Selfde storie daar, chord AB onderspan vir X by die middelpunt en chord AB onderspan vir Y by die sirkel omtrek. Same story here. Chord arc AB for X at the midpoint and Y at the circle circumference, or chord AB for X at the midpoint, Y at the circle circumference. Okay, are you guys still awake? We are 8 minutes into geometry and you look like you've given up already. Ons is letterlik nou nog net besig om te praat oor die verskillende terminologie wat julle moet kan ken. Ons het nog nie begin met die wille goedie. Julle moet wakkerder lyk. Ek gaan nie vandag al twee periodes heeltyd op julle kan skree om wakker te word. Okay. Good. What's happening here? Okay. Do you guys maybe have... Is this asking too much?
Yes, very much so.
Het julle grade bo hierso? Wie het 'n grade boogie? Daai ding. Look at this, 26 rand at the China shop. Complete set. It's a fancy set. So save up this whole month. Go and buy yourself
I
one.
do have one. I also have one, but that's
Okay. Yeah, and this one works with a phaser, like a click. It's fancy. Okay, goed. Wie het hulle sien hier? Okay. Demi, sal jy vir my hoek E meet? Die hele hoek E. Okay? Nico, do you have yours here? Kwama, sal jy vir my hoek D meet? Okay? Kwama is measuring angle D. Leon Emeritus, sal jy vir my hoek A meet? Okay, wie het gesê hulle het nog hulle sin hier? Will you measure? Is someone measuring C? Is someone measuring C? No. Will you measure C for me, please? Wie het nog? Ek al vir jou gegee. Sal jy vir my hoek F meet? Sien jy hoek F is die hele ene. Okay, anyone else? Zaid, will you do B for me, please? B. Angle B. Okay, wie het al hulle sin? Demi, wat sien het ek vir jou gevra om te meet? E. E is kies ene. Maar kies ene. Okay. Okay, hoek E. Nou man. Demi sê sy kom nie by hom uit nie, maar hoek E is 90 grade. So this whole thing is a 90-degree angle. Okay. D sê jy is 51. Okay, who's doing C for me? What did you get? 37. 80. No. It's only a part of it. You're measuring angle F. That's what you're doing at the moment. I gave B to someone, but I can't remember who. Do you guys not know how to use these? Kom maar, ek kry vir D 66 grade. Ja. grade. Okay, I'm going to measure them myself because I'm worried that my grade 11 class does not know how to measure angles. Daai is 65 grade. This one will also be 65 degrees. This whole thing will be 90 degrees. This will be 90 degrees as well. Good. B. No. But they mean B as in this whole thing. Did you see the arrow? 130. You got? Let's make it 130. A clean 130. Okay. And G, none of you were supposed to measure that, but that will also be equal to 65. Okay. So, wat ons nou gaan doen is, ons gaan begin dit vir onsself omskryf. Because what can we see here so far? We can see that both this one and this one is equal to 90 degrees. And there's a reason why that is true. We can also see that this angle and this angle and that angle will be equal to one another. Do you see all of them is 65? And there's a reason for that as well. Then who can tell me how did I get the 130 degrees? If you look at the other values on the board. Sort of. How can I get to 130 from 65? Hier's nêrens parallelle lyne hier nie, my kind. Daar's nêrens parallelle lyne daar nie. Nee. Listen to the question. How can I get from 65 to 130? Times 2. Okay. So ek gaan nou vir julle verduidelik waar ons daaraan kom.